A strong and independent woman is something to behold. She pays her own bills, buys her own things, and she doesn't let a man affect her stability or self-confidence. She is a soul-rich woman. Are you ready to be rich doing what you love? Be on purpose and in control of your life again. At For Women Who Love the F Word podcast, we will be openly talking about getting more clients online, getting recognition as the leader and female entrepreneur, and also the F word, being fabulous, having freedom, and financial independence. It's time to own and love the F word. Welcome to the show. Hey gorgeous, and welcome to today's episode. In this interview, I spoke with the Vice President of Marketing, formerly from Layer, and now she is the founder and vice president in Melzi Cooperation. And her name is Ivy Montgomery. So she's really cool, very amazing lady. So do enjoy this interview and share with me over in Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram on what you think about this episode. Today we have a really special guest with us. Her name is Ivy. And Ivy, would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Ivy Montgomery. I am actually a Hong Kong native, but currently I live in San Francisco with my husband and 2 children, and I head marketing for a messaging company called Layer.
So what is success to you, Ivy?
Okay. Well, that's a big question and big turn as well, too. To me, success is being who you are and living your life according to the values that you believe in. And to do so, I think at the end of the day, you have to know who you are and be authentic and believe that whatever you want to do, you can build a path to do so.
Wow. And for you being a female leader in the organization, how do you define leadership?
Okay. So I think there's a couple ways. One of the things that, as part of my management philosophy, is I always choose people and role where their strength and their passion cross, because I think that's where they do the maximum amount of output at a state of happiness. So from a leadership standpoint, from a recruitment standpoint, I would first start out with selecting people that really adhere to the role, that they're happy to spend the bulk of their time doing so. So that's more recruitment leadership. And then the next aspect is how do I actually engage and help them grow? So knowing where their strength is and where their passions lies, then figure out what's the path to help them grow. And to me, that's part of my philosophy, but it's also part of who I am. It's to see my employees grow.
For you to climb up the corporate ladder, was the journey lonely for you as a female leader?
I don't think lonely is necessarily the right word, but it is certainly unusual in a sense that I'm in a technology space. And there's not a lot of, in US, there's not a lot of leaders in the technology space in the C-suite. And so part of it is being used to stand up for yourself, knowing that what you know deliver result for the company, that's important, and really be authentic. There's this perception that you need to drop your entire life, your no personal life, no family life, just to do work, and that is the way to climb corporate ladder. And I don't quite believe so. And I think that being woman, one of the things, especially after having children, is your ability to compartmentalization and be extremely efficient at work. And so when I think about my day-to-day work, each hour I allocate it based on what I think is the priority for the day. And so it might be, for me, 6 o'clock at that point, it's really focusing on my kids. And so I actually set aside my phone for a while and to really focus on my kids. And when my kids are asleep, then I focus back onto the work. And so there are a lot of women who struggle with how do I do work-life balance, especially in the technology space where a lot of executives in the C-suites are men and they might have stay-at-home wives and they might have to travel a lot. And if you choose family, does that mean you're no longer an executive? I think there are a couple things that you need to look at. One is choosing a partner who truly respects for who you are. This is your life partner, and support what you want to be as a person. And the second thing is then choose a company that also respect who you are and what you can deliver and the values that you bring to the table, and understand that you're not giving up who you are as far as your own personal value just to be 100% always at work. So finding company who can support it, finding a life partner who can support that is extremely important.
And what is your passion? Because you are a female leader in the tech space.
Yeah.
Do you really go into this space because you're passionate about tech, or were you previously, you learn it along the way?
It's more or less organic. I learned it along the way. So I started off, my undergrad was in economics. I was more or less an economist. But it was in 1999, at that point when the dot-com was booming, everyone was in the software space.
Yeah.
And so living in Silicon Valley at that time, naturally I joined a technical company. And the interesting thing about that is my role evolved. And at the end of the day, I think what got me where I am isn't so much about do I climb the corporate ladder. It's more in each of the job that you take on, what exactly is the impact you're helping with the business. And it's really focusing on the impact. And I think on the time when I'm really focusing on the value that I bring to the table, more so than what is it for me, it's when I see the growth the most. And it's actually, at the end of the day, I'm the happiest that way. Because if you think about it, when you define what you do for the company, the first thing is, what is the best thing for you to do for the company? Then the second thing you think about as a leader is, what's the best thing you do for your employees to help them grow? So if you start off with those two philosophies and you grow that way, your company benefits and the people around you benefit.
What's the one advice would you give to an employee or a woman in a corporate ladder?
It depends on where you are in your organization. So if you are at a higher up as an executive level, I think it is every female's responsibility to help define the culture where gender is not an issue. In fact, there's a new article that I just read on Harvard Business Review. It's now you should look at actually not just diversity in terms of gender and disability, but also neurodiversity.
Wow.
So how do you treat people with autistic, and they have certain capability that's far advanced than other people as well too. So diversity in general. The way I look at it is, if you are at a high up at an organization, you are actually responsible for helping to set the culture so that everyone is accepted, and that everyone can play to their strength. But if you're at a farther down where you're just starting up, I think that and you're struggling in terms of getting harassed or feeling like your performance is not being evaluated the right way. So the number one thing usually any employee should do is reach out to their managing person, so your director, your manager. That is the first point of contact in terms of your performance evaluation. Now, if it's go beyond just a performance and it's something that's more social, and you're female, I assume that's what you're suggesting. One of the things I really encourage people to do as part of your career success ladder, it's find a mentor within the organization as well as outside of organization. Now, that mentor does not necessarily need to be a female, although sometimes could be helpful. Someone who you would like to be years from now, and so they can share their path for you. But when you're choosing this mentorship, it's also important to focus that this person isn't trying to get you to be who they are, but knowing who you are and you knowing what your value are and help you grow. Wow. So it's meant to be a sounding board, not necessarily a copycat. So having a mentor in situation like this enable you to have someone like a confidant to evaluate, am I doing it right? Am I am I being too sensitive, or is this truly an HR issues? And that mentor should be confidentially guide you through when is the right time for you to reach out to HR. So number one thing is, if you're starting new into in a company, and I have been blessed that throughout my career I've met wonderful women and men that were just grateful enough to spend their time to be my mentor. So I would highly encourage any one of you to, as you start out with your career, find a mentor, and maybe find one or two mentors that you can feel confidentially share information.
Well, I love it. I really love it so much. I learned something as well. Yeah. So thank you very much, Ivy, for being here today. Really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so honored that we are connected, and I hope that I can continue to serve you as you build your dreams. And if you love this episode, and I hope that you did, rate it 5 stars. Give us that glowing review because it will help more women around the world finding the Soul Rich Woman podcast. Alone you are strong, together we are unstoppable. Now share this with every woman who needs it, because this is how we are changing the world, one woman at a time. As always, get out of your comfort zone and go towards the dreams you've always wanted to achieve. For women who love the F word, being fabulous, having freedom, and financial independence. My dear soul-rich woman, sending you my love, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.